Speaker, people are doing it tough. From renters, pensioners, working families, early to mid-career professionals, tradies, single parents, essential workers, all are facing persistent pressure on their household budgets. When young people are leaving Higgins because they can't make the rent, families are moving for the same reason, mortgage holders are near their limit, people are sleeping in cars in Higgins, and when we are seeing an uptick in domestic violence amongst people being seen at our maternal and child health centres, you know we need to act. If this is happening in Higgins, just imagine how much worse it is right around Australia. There is not one reason to course correct, but in fact 26 million reasons to do so. Our decision to change the Stage 3 tax cuts was not made lightly. It was done in response to persistent and sustained pressure on household budgets, despite throwing a slew of medicines at the problem, like cheaper childcare, cheaper medicines, energy relief, more bulk billing, urgent care clinics, increases to income support payments, and free TAFE. Our $23 billion cost of living package across 2 budgets has helped, but it is clear that people need more relief. The original Stage 3 tax cuts were legislated in 2018 when the world looked very different. Who could have anticipated an inflationary storm triggered by a global pandemic linked to generous government support, disrupted supply chains, and not one but 2 global conflicts? This cost of living problem has proven to be more stubborn than we hoped for, demanding that we do more. Labor's tax cuts will deliver more bang for buck at a time when people are under sustained pressure. On July 1, the Albanese government will be delivering a tax cut for every Australian taxpayer. 13.6 million Australian taxpayers will be receiving a tax cut. 85% of taxpayers will be getting a bigger tax cut under our plan compared to Scott Morrison's plan. Around 85,000 people, every taxpayer in Higgins, will receive a tax cut. Nearly 3 in 4 workers in Higgins will receive a bigger tax cut under our plan compared to the previous one. And the average tax cut in Higgins will be $2,059. That is huge. The average Australian wage earner on $73,000 per year will receive a tax cut of $1,504, which is more than $800 extra in their pocket each year than they would have received under Scott Morrison's plan. Among the biggest beneficiaries are women. Women. That is music to my ears in a government that is 53% women. We walk the talk. All women will receive a tax cut, but 90% of working women will receive a bigger tax cut under Labor's plan compared to Scott Morrison's plan. You can't talk about gender equality without actually supporting women's economic development, and these tax cuts certainly do that. On average, all 6.5 million women taxpayers would receive an average tax cut of $1,649 compared to $1,278 under the previous Stage 3 tax cuts. Treasury estimates that Labor's tax cuts will boost workforce supply, particularly for women. I have walked around the Higgins and I've seen women with extraordinary professional qualifications who are currently languishing at home, Mr. Speaker. Why? Because they are working basically part-time. It's not worth their time to increase their hours due to the current tax regime. These changes will encourage more women to step up into the workforce at a time when businesses are desperate for workers, for skilled workers. We have, as you know, had the worst productivity in the last 6 decades. It was absolutely moribund under the Liberals. Having more workers with the appropriate skills that the economy needs will be a real shot in the arm for productivity. This just makes good economic sense. Treasury expect an increase in workforce supply of around 930,000 hours per week, more than double the previous old Stage 3 tax cuts. There are many women in Higgins who are going to